Dianna Russini is with us now. She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic. She's got a great podcast called Scoop City. It's co-hosted with Chase Daniel. You could check out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Dianna, would you like to pick up this conversation with us? Where do you side on not having any sympathy, not having any empathy for the dead?
Yeah, pretty cold of everyone there. I sympathize because I'm pretty flaky myself. So while I don't think people intentionally are putting themselves in those positions, I just don't think they're thinking about, oh my gosh, I could probably die. Like I take the subway a lot and I stand very, very close to the end of the platform there. Someone could easily push me. I could fall. I'm always on my phone. I'm surprised I haven't even done that yet. So it's not that I haven't thought about it. I'm just not thinking about it at that moment. So yeah, I have, especially the selfie people. I always feel so bad for them. They're just trying to capture the moment. It's so hard out there on social media. I get it. You want to grab the shot, and these people are willing to put their lives on the line for this. I mean, I feel really bad for them.
But someone pushing you would be murder, and I would feel bad for you. I would.
Yeah, for sure.
But what if I tripped?
I'd feel bad for you.
Don't go near train tracks.
No, but if she tripped onto the train track, then I would feel bad for her. She's not intentionally walking onto the train track.
Were you on the yellow line or behind it?
What if I was texting or tweeting a Devontae Adams story?
Yeah, the sympathy decreases at that point.
Yeah.
I think the point is there's some gray area here. Perhaps we shouldn't just blanketly say we don't feel bad for other people when they die in horrible accidents.
What about Jack Dougherty? He was texting and he got into the car crash?
I almost brought that up, actually. That was absurd.
So I don't feel badly if he had croaked doing that.
Wow.
So what have we decided is the dumbest way to die?
I don't think we've come up with a decision just yet, but skydiving seemed to be amongst everybody here. It seemed to be the highest ranking form of death that would elicit no sympathy from anybody. In all instances, anyone dies, I feel for them and their loved ones. Like that's, I'm not putting a cap on how much I care about people.
Or how they die.
What if they're bungee jumping off a rocky cliff?
Yeah.
Again, adventure seekers. And how about those flying squirrel costumes that people do that seem like an amazing adrenaline rush as you're very close to the edges of mountains and you feel like a superhero for a moment? I'm sure many people die that way, and those people are living life more fancifully than I am.
And dying ridiculously.
Yeah.
Guys, we have breaking news right now. Adam Schefter tweeted 2 minutes ago, ESPN sources, Jets fire head coach Robert Saleh.
What?
Oh, Dianna is reacting to this.
She's on with us.
We've got an insider right now who is looking at this. Her mouth is open. We have a natural in the wild video of Dianna getting the news from her phone. She's too busy talking with us about stupid.
Do you think Belichick called? I mean,
We ruined Diana's morning.
Did you
Way
miss
to
a
go,
text
everyone.
with us, Dianna?
She's got to go. She's got
We were talking
about the lack of empathy for the dead.
Oh, Schefter scooped her.
We are wasting her time.
Do we feel bad for Robert Saleh?
We have to
I
feel
bad for Diana.
I feel bad for Diana.
Crazy. Of course.
That's terrible.
In the middle of Dan clarifying, you know what? When people die, I feel bad for them. This news happens.
In a flying squirrel suit. That's
so
what we were
bad.
talking about.
She just bailed.
We'll see
She has
whether
to.
or not
She should.
she comes back. While we wait for her, Stugotz, your thoughts on not only the Jets firing Robert Saleh, but as
She's back. Hold on. I want to see this.
all right,
The working of
hold
the
on.
phones right now.
I spelled it wrong.
Oh, man. Who? What?
Okay, she is.
I'm with you. Is there an E at the end, an A?
right.
Saleh?
I don't
Saleh?
like viewing this. I feel uncomfortable.
I knew
watching
this was going to
this.
happen.
Diana,
I
should-
knew
should-
this was going to happen.
Should we stop? Like, do you want to get off camera
Okay,
here? You're back. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, what do you guys want to know?
What happened?
Well, tell us what it is that's happening right now, and I don't feel good viewing you in the wild this way. Your stress shouldn't be.
These are things I don't want to see.
Your anxiety shouldn't be videoed by us.
No. It's fine. It's fine. This is the job. I love this stuff, guys. I don't love people getting fired, but look, this doesn't come as a extreme shock. The only thing that is maybe catching me off guard a little bit on this is they decided to run it back this year with Robert Saleh. Woody Johnson made that decision himself, right? There were definitely some people in that building suggesting they move on from Robert Saleh after last year's disaster. We did tons of reporting on just a lot of issues that they were having in that building outside of the fact that Aaron Rodgers was injured. There was just really bad coaching decisions being made. We've seen it, and it bled into this year. So I'm surprised when they had an opportunity to do it, they didn't do it when you do it at the start of the season. So obviously coming back from London's bad, guys. Losing in London is no good. This is where all the problems start. I think it's the long flight. I think it's the embarrassment on international television. It's everything. The Jets have been focused on trying to get Devontae Adams in that building. I think Robert Saleh has been trying to do essentially what he thinks is going to be best for Aaron Rodgers in all of this. Aaron obviously has all the power in that organization. So now, we see Robert Saleh's been let go here, and I'm trying to just find out who's going to be the interim here. So that's what we're going to work on next. But you have to wonder, do you go with someone already on? There is nobody, maybe Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, who's done a really good job. I know the players love him. Is that the right fit?
I think it'd be Hackett. I think it would be Hackett if they go that route.
Stu, it's not Hackett.
Well, if he's running the organization, Dianna, that's his best friend. So I could see, I could envision a scenario in which he promotes Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach, and they go on, and he wants to have a good season for his friend. I could see that happening.
Stu, no.
Okay.
Look, I'll come back on if that gets me. If I get this information right now that's the truth, I'll stay on for the whole show and we can discuss how ridiculous that is.
Okay.
But look, does Woody Johnson call Andrew Berry in Cleveland right now and say, "Give me Mike Vrabel, bring him in here, clean this up right now"? Like, can you make this team better?
Do you fire him without knowing what you're going to do? Wouldn't you already know what you're going to do? And of course, Belichick's available.
Bill Belichick is available.
Yep.
Dianna, let me stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Why don't you go do your job and we'll check back in with you? Do you want to go do your job so that we're not in your way?
Dan, I appreciate that. Can you guys give me 10? I just
yes,
need
go
do
your
your
job.
day if you need to. Yes.
You know what? In fact, just turn her sound down so we can watch her and just watch her go crazy. Put her in picture, and so we can watch her be nuts, and we will talk about this because, Stugotz, you are a Jets fan, and I haven't talked to you about what happened on Sunday, which is Robert Saleh just got fired because Aaron Rodgers was terrible. And they've given Aaron Rodgers all of the power in the organization. And the last 2 weeks, they needed somebody to win the game at the end, and he couldn't do it. They were good enough to be in both of those games at the end.
Yep.
They missed a field goal, and then they lose against an undefeated Minnesota team because he can't close off the drive. So tell us how it is that you're feeling as a Jets fan. You've been talking for a while about Saleh needs to be gone.
Yeah, and it's interesting because not only did you lose that game, you lost it to Sam Darnold, who was a quarterback you drafted in the top 5 of the NFL draft, and he didn't play that well, and you still lost that game. And Aaron has to finish those games off. I said this last week. I've been watching that Jet game for 40 years, and what I expected to be different was, I have a great quarterback now. They're going to finish these games. They're going to finish every one of these games, and they haven't been able to do so. You're all in with Aaron Rodgers. So if Rodgers doesn't want Saleh there, why would you keep the coach around when a guy like Belichick or Vrabel is available and wanting to coach? I like the move. I think the Jets had to do it because Aaron Rodgers wanted them to do it, and they're all in with Aaron Rodgers. I'm good with that.
So when you're doing a midseason firing like this, there's only one of two ways. Either the owner goes to the GM and says, "We're firing the manager today. That's it. I won't do it. I'm not going to watch this guy coach my team one more time." Or the main player on your team,
it was the main player,
goes to the owner and says, "You're going to blow the season. We've got to do it now before it's too late." I think those are the only two possibilities. And in the Jets' case, I think it's more Rodgers to Johnson because Johnson, this is not his MO.
No.
To do something in the middle of the season. So I think this is more Rodgers trying to cover up his inadequacies at 41 by saying, listen, we're going to blame Saleh for this because I'm not playing well enough.
Is it fair to say that the Aaron Rodgers experiment is failing? It seems to me it is. You can't.
They have a game Monday night for first place. I mean, if they win the game, they're in first place.
It's because
it's been a while since I could say that.
Okay, unexpectedly, it's turned into a division.
Right.
Pardon my French. But it just, you can't fault him for being injured all last season. But you can look at him this year and say, you know what? He's got a legit number one receiver. He's got a good running back. Why aren't they scoring more? Why is he not closing games? Why isn't he not winning a couple of games that were very winnable? I'm not saying it's a failure right now. I'm saying at some point, when does a Jet fan say the Aaron Rodgers thing ain't working?
It's also very curious because Saleh he's a defensive coach, right? And their defense, they're a little shaky at times this season, but they're still rated top 5 in a lot of key categories.
They've been fine.
On defense.
Yeah, the problem's been Aaron.
Certainly not the
Yes.
reason that they lost on Sunday.
But that's why this is interesting, because the problem has been Aaron Rodgers and not Robert Saleh, and Woody Johnson sided with the quarterback and not the coach.
Stugotz is saying here that Sam Darnold didn't play well on Sunday. He didn't play well because that Jets defense is really good.
Right, and the guy responsible for that is gone.
Aaron Rodgers has as many points through 5 games as Zach Wilson did last year. And we remember that they ran Zach Wilson out of town. If the bottom line is point scoring, you understand how it is that Aaron Rodgers would get most of the blame on what it is that's happening here, because 3 interceptions in a game, and not just that. I don't know if you felt this on Sunday, Stugotz. It felt familiar, the way that he was getting battered at his age, to seeing the way that Brett Favre was getting hit around the same age when he could no longer move around the pocket the way that he could when he was younger.
Right.
And you can see that the speed of the game on a 40-year-old, you can all see, oh, they don't all get to age like Brady just because we're in the age of LeBron James can play into his 40s and Dianna Taurasi can play into her 40s. Not everyone gets to age into their 40s. Most quarterbacks by 38 are done.
But, Dan, we're 3 weeks removed from Rodgers just picking apart a good Patriots defense. He was fantastic. And people were saying after that game, I was saying after that game, that's the best game I've seen a Czech quarterback play in my entire life. He was so good in that game.
The last 2 games that I have seen of Aaron Rodgers, all I see is 4-yard passes. All I see is slants and checkdowns and nothing down the field. Mm-hmm. When you have a number 1 receiver that I've been told is a down-the-field threat.
Yeah.
And Mike Williams, when he was a number 2 with the Chargers, was formidable. And as a 2 or a 3 with the Jets, hasn't done much of anything. There has been a power struggle in New York, and your quarterback just won it. They have given over the entirety of the organization over to him. He's had sparks with Saleh, right and left, Stugotz. There have been little public sparks with Saleh.
Shove.
And now, as David Sampson says, it's a rare thing for someone to do this mid-season or this early in the season when you're playing.
It's a rare thing for this owner to do it, that's for sure.
But, of course, it's win now, right now, because of Aaron Rodgers' age.
As it should be.
The thing that I wanted to say to you, as Dianna Russini got a little bit surprised by that while we were on the air with her, I just don't think that you do this unless you know what you're doing next. You don't just fire him without knowing what the next news is.
According to Zach Rosenblatt from The Athletic, Jeff Ulbrich will be the interim coach. So he's the defensive coordinator and now the interim coach. Apparently, according to Zach, he's beloved by the entire Jets roster and staff.
Well, that always works.
So it's not Hackett, huh?
This makes me wonder. This really does make me wonder about what happened on Sunday between Rodgers and Saleh that would make Rodgers just go to the owner and say, "Get him out of here. This isn't working because of what's happening with the coach."
Did you see those overthrow interceptions I had? Get him out of here.
Well, it started in the preseason, right, with them announcing that Rodgers was missing camp and going to Egypt. That's where it started in terms of the bad relationship.
There could have been a Girardi here, though. Let's not say that it couldn't have happened. There's a chance that Saleh did something to Woody that just Woody said that you may not, that's a line you may not cross. A Girardi is when your manager does something to your owner that's the end of it. You get fired that second.
Hey, this quarterback's not very good. Why did you guys trade for him?
Get out of here.
There is also another possibility, which is that on the long trip to London, they only had one option for in-flight entertainment that the head coach chose, and Aaron Rodgers did not like it. They ended up watching some really terrible movie on the way there, so I wouldn't rule that out.
You sleep on the way over.
I do rule that out.
Do you?
I do rule out that it was the movie choice on the flight. Yes.
We're watching I Love You Man again?
Dianna, you're stressing me out. We'll get you out of here in a second. I assume you have a job you've got to go do. What kind of updates do you want to give us? Can you give us on everything happening with the Jets? I'd like to ask you football questions, but I don't want to keep you from the things that you have to do that are more important than what you're doing right now with us. So give us what you got and get out of here.
Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah. No. Thank you so much for understanding. Yeah. This is definitely a little stunning. And I know when the story broke, I shared with you guys that it was stunning. Not because Robert Saleh is getting fired. I don't think anyone here on the show would agree, especially you, Stu, that he's a top 10 head coach. But the philosophy from this organization has really just been since this season of let's just run this thing back. And look, we spent time talking about the Egypt situation and how it appeared Saleh and Aaron Rodgers were not on the same page there. And I felt like that was the start of this. That's where this thing started to take off, where it just didn't always feel or appear that Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh were on the same page this year. So look, while I stepped away during commercial there to get some information, it was explained to me by a good source that Woody Johnson looked at the situation, looked at his roster, and said, my roster's really good. This thing is built to win. This thing is built to go to the Super Bowl. And based on what we have right now, where we're at after 3.5 years with Robert Saleh, I've got to make the move now. Now is the time. And whether that means looking for new leadership, a spark, whatever it is, he just did not believe that Robert Saleh is the right guy to take this team from now to the playoffs, with that being their goal in mind.
Greg Cody is making disgusted faces at what you just said. He's disgusted.
No, it's not what you said, Dianna. It's the idea that Woody Johnson would think that he had a Super Bowl roster. I don't see that.
When you get Aaron Rodgers, you think you have a Super Bowl
roster. It's a good roster.
But that's putting too much credit to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron is 41 and playing like it. I don't think the Aaron Rodgers experiment is
but
working.
It's a win now roster. When your quarterback's 41, you're about winning this year.
And how's that going?
Okay, but there's no time to waste. How it's going is they fired their coach quicker than anyone else did because they're on a win now formula more than any other teams that are failing right now.
Okay, I mean, I don't think it was any kind of a consensus that this is a Super Bowl team. I don't know what the preseason betting odds are, but I bet the Jets weren't in the top five.
The Jets were favored to win the division to start the season.
Greg, I have never
Over
been.
The Bills?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
Greg, I've never been in a win now mode. Can I enjoy it? I mean, seriously.
Well, no is the answer. You just fired your coach.
Yeah, I know, because it's a win now mode. I mean, that's what you do when you're in a win now mode. You fire your coach. I mean, 5 games in, that's how you do it.
So do you feel better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Dianna, get out of here. I'm going to do this as gently as possible. Get the hell out of here. You're stressing me. You're stressing me out.
It forgets. I'm sorry. My energy stinks today. This is just what it is. And if I get anything juicy, I'll definitely call back in.
Is that why Woj retired? Did we just witness it right in front of us?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
She looked miserable.
Yes.
There was a time when Schefter was on this show taking basketball calls, and he missed a big story, and he was furious.
Yes, it's an unpleasant way to go through life.